Welcome back. It's This Week in Brotherly Love. It is January 13th, 2022. Can't believe this year is just already like zooming by. Wild. My semester started this week. It was a good week. It's still a good week. Today, got my trailer stolen. Not going to talk about it anymore though. Sucks. What can you do? Whatever. Pat, heard you are back at work and you had to go into work 3 days. So that's kind of what I want to talk about because I'm virtual for the next 2 weeks. And then who knows what it's going to be. You said you are in for 3 days a week now, virtual too. Want to know what you think about work from home.
Yeah, so a part of me has, I've adjusted to the work from home thing, like formed this room that I'm in right now into a home office and, got a whole desk set up. I've really enjoyed
Yoda.
got my Yoda in the back. You see that? That's my grand
Yeah.
award that I won in 5th grade.
Nice.
Got my grandpa on the wall.
Yeah.
Got my Japanese made Star Wars thing that Jake got me in Kyoto. I've gotten used to it. It's in many ways it's really, really nice and efficient being able to do a lot of the work that I used to trudge downtown for, or even I don't miss this at all, driving to the burbs to do like in-person call time with clients and stuff like that. Now, and all the clients agree, doing it in Google Meets or Zoom is fantastic, as far as my job and having to have meetings like that. However, I really I loved this week and being back. I got to there's plenty of room in this new suite that the boss leased for us down the hall from our main offices on the same floor, and we all have our own desks. They're really well spaced out. And it was really, really nice. I felt like being back in there, I was just as productive, maybe even more so as far as kind of the administrative tasks and the collaboration type based tasks. And I got to do like the whole commute thing, like getting onto the bus and going down there. That felt good, just kind of just being out in the world. It kind of clears your head and gives you perspective. And I miss my coworkers. There's kind of this siloing effect. I don't know if other people working from home have experienced it, although anecdotally I've heard that they have, and that you feel a little isolated and shut off from your coworkers, and there's not the same type of connection that you get from working in person. So I think with that said, the good news about kind of the going back in person is we have a team and a boss and a work environment that's really open and communicative. So, this is the second week of 2022 where we're doing the 3 days in, 2 days remote. None of us have all been into the office all at once because
that was going to be my next question. So you said there's 3 days on, 2 days off. Is it half of the 60% of the office is in the same 3 days as you, and 40% is at home, and then when you're at home, 60% is there, and 40% is at home or something, whatever, a breakup?
So that's a good question. So the most people are in on like Mondays. So there is a young woman that works for our staff. She has a little child at home right now because of how hard it is to find childcare. For her, she comes in on Mondays, and the rest of the time she's remote. So she's only ever in on Mondays. And then the rest of the staff, the suite that we're in, there's 4 people in there. So it's not a lot of people to begin with, and we're all spread out. There's 2 different rooms. There's even a 3rd breakout room with a bathroom down the hall in this suite. So it's not crowded. There isn't a lot of people in at once, even if we all were to be in. And then out the door and then down the hall, there's another suite. The boss has his own office in there, and then there is a general kind of work area with a conference table The boss has got his own up. And then there's a conference table where all the interns can work around, and there's a desk for our operations manager who's currently working out of state, but eventually when she moves back up, she'll have her own space to work out of. So we are very well spread out. Even when we're all in, we're never all in the office at any given time. It is staggered, like you asked.
So is it going to be like that forever, or is it just for the time being? And then also, question is, how did you guys kind of decide to do this now? Because like a lot of places are going back to virtual. They were like in person for the last 6 months or so, but now that Omicron numbers are going up, decided to like go back virtual. So what made you guys decide to do this now? And then when are you guys gonna reassess and go back fully in office, or is this gonna be indefinite now?
So it is indefinite with this setup, but there's a caveat to that. We have not all been in on the 3 days when kind of all the account managers are supposed to be in because of Omicron, and we have a very open a flow of communication in the firm. Whether you've been exposed, gotten a positive test, or aren't feeling well, stay home. Most of the things we do can be done remotely. Mm-hmm. We opened up this suite just in 2022, which is the impetus for us going for more in-person time, because we all agreed that we felt very isolated. We missed the collaborative part of our jobs, especially when it comes to event planning or kind of interperson projects that we work on across, the across accounts, and being able to engage with the interns. We've gotten positive feedback for the interns that we have just onboarded, saying that one of the big reasons that attracted them to the position was that it was in person, that most other things are remote. And they're all students, our interns, and that's a big deal to them.
Yeah.
And so it seems like odd timing to scale it up, but we have been fully remote with one person staffing the office just in case we get deliveries, a client needs to come in, whatever, since lockdown. We were fully remote in 2020, no in person. 2021, we eased into 1 day a week where it's just like, we just need somebody to staff the office. There was an opening in the suite that we're all currently in now, and we decided, we'd like to see each other. And so we made this decision before the surge. And so, we got it all set up, and then Omicron happened. And so these first 2 weeks, literally these past 2 weeks, I had COVID last week, so I wasn't in, and I'm willing to, to talk about that. And now we have a team member that's sick this week, and a team member that she coaches, and all of her students have tested positive. So she has isolated at home this week. So, we have this as an option, but it's in no way a requirement. In fact, we had a meeting today specifically about mental health, where we all tuned in virtually on to a meeting because all of us happen to be working remote today. And the boss reiterated, and then all of us talked openly about how if you don't have a meeting or we don't have like a specific thing going on, we all need to recognize that taking a couple hours, even if it's in the middle of a traditional work time frame during a weekday, is vitally important for our new normal. We all agreed.
What about if it's Ben Simmons?
I can't speak for Ben. I guess I'm just going to speak for all of us working peons out there, that I think we can all agree that breakdowns are happening more, that with the remoteness comes a kind of an invasion into our normal kind of out of bounds, like our time, type thing. I mean, I work in politics, so that's especially a problem, even during normal times, but especially when it's all become, the phone and on the computer and everything, we're basically like Zooming and having meetings like in our living space. So it's very, very hard to maintain those boundaries. So burnout is a very real thing. And We continue to have stuff going on. Like life still continues. I have a grandmother that's in a long-time rehab facility because she fell. Combine that with COVID and all the protocols that are in place for that. Like I can't get to see her like I normally would. And that really bums me out, you know, deaths in the family, you know, managing children at home, you know, all of this is just
people getting trailers stolen.
People getting trailers stolen, pets, you know, getting sick, whatever.
Getting
like
heads chopped off.
I've got a car out in Gerard that like
that's
it's just dead for no reason, and now I gotta get that SOB into the shop tomorrow morning. Like all these things are real, and I think pre-pandemic, it's like no, 9 to 5,
but
Monday through Friday. But we all had to acknowledge today on our call, like, yo, we got to all look out for each other. We all got to communicate. And sometimes, even if it's in the middle of a traditional work time, you got to just check out and take a breather. And that felt really good, that this silver lining of the pandemic is that some companies, including mine, are leaning into this philosophy of work-life balance, and that it's real, and that we cannot afford to push ourselves to the point where we break down, because that doesn't do anyone any good, especially that person.
No, very true.
You know, it's tough. It's tough, right? Like like even when I'm sick, there's been days where I can remember 102-degree fever back during the 2020 campaign. I clocked in, I had stuff I needed to do, and I did it, you know, but I was sicker longer because I didn't check out. You know, and that's a real thing. And I think kind of like recognizing that and being proactive about, like, when you start feeling down or you start feeling sick, it's better to check out fully for a certain amount of time than to try and work through it and have that situation exacerbated.
Yeah, you can always do more when you're feeling 100% for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's about all we got for tonight. Thank you as always. That's all. Have a good one.
I love you.
Love you. Peace.